Hello and namaste. In this video, we're going to talk about ticks. No, more like ticks. And let's not forget the fleas. In this video, I'm going to share with you some tips to repel a tick as well as kill a tick and remove the tick from your life. Why are ticks such a nuisance? Did you know that an adult female tick can lay up to 3,000 to 6,000 eggs? And did you know that some species of ticks have nymphs and larvae that can survive without food for 584 days? So they're just basically going around searching for a host. It's a bit scary. Ticks can cause loss of appetite, diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, stiff joints, and even fever, commonly known as tick fever in dogs. They can even attach to humans and can bite humans. Now, it's not always very serious, but some people can have allergies and require immediate attention when they're bitten by ticks. Ticks like warm and moist places. Your dog can get a tick from another dog, or it can get ticks from the surrounding that it's in. So it could have gone outdoors and walked somewhere, and then these pesky little things have just like crawled onto the paws and they're kind of latching onto the host. So if you go to an area, some kind of wilderness that is probably prone to having ticks, then your dog is going to get it from that. I previously mentioned that I'm going to tell you something about repelling the tick vis-a-vis killing the tick. By repelling, I mean that your dog doesn't currently have ticks, but you don't want it to get ticks, so you are being more cautious. In order to do this, you can follow a few simple tips on a regular basis so that your dog doesn't catch ticks. If you tend to take your dog out a lot and for walks as you should, chances are that they might catch it from the surrounding or if they're interacting with other dogs. So it's better to be careful. These tips are some preventive measures that you can take. Many fragrances that we like to smell and have in our lives and in our households, those can be a bit repulsive to ticks. You can use essential oils in a dog's shampoo, so you can mix like 2 to 3 drops of lemongrass oil or eucalyptus oil, tea tree oil, rose geranium oil, even citronella, something that you can use. So choose one of these oils and then mix like 2 to 3 drops of it in their shampoo while you're bathing them. If you want something more effective, then you can even put these essential oils in water. So like 2 to 3 drops of it in 50 ml to 100 ml of water, and then just spray them with it 2 to 3 times a week. That can also help them repel ticks and fleas and keep them at bay. As ticks can easily get into the paws of the dogs and slowly start getting into their skin and their entire body. Once you're back from your walk, firstly wash it with a mild soap or a shampoo that you usually use for the dog. And then you can even spray the paws with the essential oil mixtures that we talked about earlier. Just dilute a little bit and then keep it handy. And then once you're back from your walk, just disinfect the paws. Wash the dog's clothing and bedding regularly if you are not doing so already. If you suspect that your dog has ticks and fleas, then make sure that you wash their bedding with lots of soap and warm water and dry it in the sun. Let the heat take it all. Now let's talk about removing ticks and fleas. Removing fleas are fairly simpler than removing ticks because many times a nice lukewarm or warm water shower, where you lather up your dog with the dog shampoo and then just allow it to sit in that lather for a few minutes, and then you wash it off, then brush it and comb the fleas out and see if you can see them. That usually seems to do the trick. Now let's get to the ticks. Removing ticks can be a nightmare, And my personal favorite tool is the hands. I think the precision and the accuracy with which you can pull out the tick with your hand is unmatched. So when I got my first puppy, she was really, really tiny. So she was living in the streets and she was ridden with ticks. She had all kinds of them. They were in all sizes, all kinds of shapes. I don't know, but there were so many. There were so many. I remember like trying to just pet her, and then you just feel all these bumps on your hand, and it's one of the most disgusting feelings. But what's more disgusting than that is removing them and then just watching them kind of struggle. Now, once you've removed it, it's not that you just leave it. It's going to jump back onto the dog, or it's going to jump back onto your hand, or somewhere in the house, in the sofa, on the bed, somewhere. So you need to kill it. So you remove it and then kind of, do this action, literally squishing the life out of that tick. But you can hear a tick sound, like maybe that's why they're called ticks. So you can do that. Or there's another way. You can have a little tiny jar of vinegar or an alcoholic sanitizer. Then once you remove the tick, you can put it in this jar so it dies there and you don't have to do all this killing. But I think I killed most of them with my hands. Another thing that you can use to remove ticks and fleas, which is also a bit labor intensive like the previous one with your hands, are tweezers. You can use these pluckers to pluck them out of the dog. Once you've kind of spotted the tick, I think it should be fairly simple for you to do it. So choose your weapons. If I were to name an oil that doesn't get enough credit, that would be neem oil, because I think it has so many wonderful properties, but it has often been overlooked. I hear about people using neem shield spray to just apply on the dog 2 to 3 hours before the shower, and that seems to work in terms of removing ticks and fleas. Now I like to make my own neem spray. So what I do is I have one of these neem oils that I have purchased from the market, and I use water, like regular water, and then mix them up and put it in a spray bottle. So for 1 part of neem oil, I use 10 parts of water. So if you are using 100 ml of water, then you use 10 ml of neem oil, and then put it in this kind of, spray bottle, and then just spray it on the dog once or twice a week. Whenever you make this spray, you use it on the same day. So its validity is like 24 hours pretty much, or less. Only make this spray when you're going to use it right away. Like I said, it should be used the same day. So if you make it today, you should not be using it the next day. The more immediate the use, the better the results. Now the good part about using neem oil in such a diluted format is that it's still effective, and it's not that strong that the dog needs to be washed right away. For some reason, the dog's body actually ends up absorbing this oil. So it also has like other benefits, like it's antifungal, antibacterial, and it's also fighting the ticks and fleas. So it's got a whole lot of wonderful benefits. I don't wash my dog after I use this spray. You don't need to, because you barely feel it once you apply it. And since it's neem and it's bitter, they don't tend to lick it. They don't like it. They don't like the smell. So it just gets into their system very, very nicely. There are lots of combinations with vinegar that people have often tried. So one happens to be just vinegar and water. So just 1 part vinegar, 1 part water, and then you make a spray and then you spray it onto the dog. So that's something that people have tried, and many say that it works for them. What I tried, and I'm not sure if I should recommend or vets would agree, was vinegar with baking soda. 1 teaspoon vinegar, half teaspoon baking soda, and I think 50 to 100 ml of water, and then like diluting it and then just spraying that on my dog. So you would have to wait a few hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours, and then wash off this mixture. Don't let the dog sit in this mixture for an entire day or something, because it is a harsh mixture. You don't want to make it too watery, then it's not going to be as strong. But it also needs to be diluted if you're going to use it on a puppy, because they're very sensitive to other things. It can actually cause itchiness and dry skin if you use all these things on a regular basis. So do make sure that even if you use something as strong and citrusy and salty as this can be, do not make it a regular habit. It's not like putting neem or like one of those milder oils. This is a bit tougher onto the dog's skin. This cannot be something you put on a dog like 2 to 3 times a week. I would say maybe once in 2 weeks can also be a bit tough on their skin. So even if this vinegar mixture does not like completely remove them, it's not like they're gonna start jumping out, it still disturbs them. And then that's a good window for you to go and get in there and start plucking them out, or even start brushing them out. If you intend to start removing the ticks once you've put this application, give it some time, like an hour, and then get in there. Maybe right before you wash it off. If you put too much water, then it's just going to be slippery even for you to get in there and try to remove things. And also, it should not be too dry. In that case, it's just going to be difficult for you to apply evenly onto the dog. But if there are specific areas where you think that that's where the ticks are, really present, many times it happens to be around the neck, like this collar region, or somewhere in the paws. So there you can really apply a more concentrated mixture, because you're just applying in that area. But then again, I would not recommend applying this mixture every few days. It still has to be done in gaps. You monitor how your dog's skin is reacting to this mixture. Now, these were some home remedies, things that are available in your house or things that you can purchase and make your own little potion. There are many shampoos that are there in the market that cater specifically to removing ticks and fleas. However, when your dog is a small, tiny puppy, these shampoos are not recommended for them because of the high amount of chemicals and things it has. But the ones with essential oils and herbs and herbal things, those can actually substitute these shampoos. So showering your pet regularly, like keeping it hygienic, grooming it, tending to its nails and the fur and everything can actually help you keep these pesky little creatures at bay. Even if you're using these mixtures, there has to be some gap in them. Now, when it comes to talking about medication that can be used to treat ticks and fleas, there's something called as spot-on treatment. It's basically recommended for adult dogs, so do not do this on puppies unless and until advised by a vet. So if you're ever thinking about going through this spot-on treatment, do consult with the vet, clarify all your doubts. You need to know which one to use, how often to use, how to administer it. So do not go and just pick up one from the market and start putting it in your dog. Okay, so spot on looks something like this, and it's like treatment for ticks, fleas and lice, like it says on the box. And it's advisable to use once in a month for adult dogs. It only takes 24 hours to remove ticks, fleas, lice, whatever your dog may have got, and it's a great tool for prevention. And it's usually based on the weight of the dog. So here it says it's for dogs 10 to 20 kg, and your puppy is not going to be that big. Even if it is that big, please do not go and buy one and just put it on your puppy, because it's not recommended for puppies of certain age. Please consult with a vet if you ever decide to go for this. I'm only telling you this for information purpose, so just to keep yourself informed about other things that you can do to remove ticks and fleas. But as always, please consult with your vet. One of the fears I think people have is what to do if part of the tick remains in the body, right? So, like, you've tried to pluck it out and the head is still there and the body is coming to your hand. What do you do? Ideally, it should just fall off in a few days because it's kind of dead. But if you really want to make sure that your dog doesn't get any infections from it, or there is no like redness and stuff because of this half creature that's still there, then you can use apple cider vinegar. You can just take a tiny bit of this in a cotton or something and put it in that area. It's supposed to soothe the redness and the irritation, as well as kind of speed healing. So you can use this. If you're scared that your dog's ticks have kind of taken over your home as well, because you feel that you're surrounded by ticks, make sure that whatever tends to come in contact with the dogs, could be your clothes, your sofa, cushions, any kind of seating arrangement that is shared by you and the dog. Those are thoroughly cleaned and washed with soap, water, and dried. Use essential oils such as lemongrass, lavender, citronella, and citronella is commonly even found in our phenyl that we use to mop our houses. So I think we're already doing pretty good on that front. We're already cleaning our homes with one of the ticks and fleas repellents. If the tick infestation is getting out of hand for you to handle, do consult with your vet. See if they have any ideas on how you can remove them as well. Hope you've got some ideas in removing ticks and fleas from your dog and from your life, and what to do after you've removed them, and you want to be careful that you never have them in your life again. So don't panic, choose your weapon, and get in there. That's all from me. I'll see you next time.